As human beings, we need a certain level of social interaction to maintain optimal physical and mental health.
Being socially isolated is stressful. And one of the hallmark features of social isolation is chronically elevated stress hormones like adrenaline, also called epinephrine, like cortisol, a stress hormone that at healthy levels is good for combating inflammation, helps us have energy early in the day, focus throughout the day. But if cortisol is elevated for too long, which is the consequence of social isolation, the immune system suffers and other chemicals start to be released in the brain and body.
Being lonely makes us susceptible to heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, depression, anxiety, addiction, suicide, dementia, and even early death. However, many of us live in social isolation these days. Work and life choices have led to moving away from family and close friends. While some of us were forced to break away from a family of origin due to conflicts and abuse, we had freedom, but at a cost: lack of human interaction. Furthermore, COVID normalized working alone from home. It was convenient. Less time was wasted dressing up, traveling, but this has further reduced normal socializing and human contact. Everyone's base point for human interaction is different.
We are all social animals to some extent or another, and we all crave social interactions to some extent or another, although the extent will vary depending on where you are in the introversion-extroversion continuum.
Social homeostasis is a base level of social interactions that keep us happy and fulfilled.
Social homeostasis, just like hunger, is the process by which when you lack social interaction, you start to crave it. What's very interesting about the fact that there are dopamine neurons in this raphe structure, that is the effector for social homeostasis, is that what this means is that when you are not interacting with people at a frequency or intensity that is right for you, dopamine is released into the brain.
It also leads to the formation of tachykinins when our hunger for human connection is not met.
Tachykinin is present in flies, in mice, and in humans, and under conditions of social isolation, its levels go up, and because of the brain areas that contain receptors for tachykinin, people start feeling very aggressive and irritable after social isolation.
Loneliness, hunger, and other drives have the same brain network, namely the raphe nucleus, located in the brain stem.
We don't have 50 different homeostatic systems and 50 different neurochemicals to underlie our drive to eat, our drive for romantic interactions, our drive for friendship interactions. We have essentially one, maybe two, and they all funnel into this same dopamine system because we have a common circuit, and that the system, meaning the person, is actually craving dopamine release. They don't consciously know this. This is all subconsciously carried out, but they're craving dopamine release. And if they can't get it from social interactions as they normally would, they'll start seeking it from food.
Being alone also means lack of meaningful touch. Skin hunger or touch starvation is a very real phenomenon. The longer we go without physical touch, the more desperately we begin craving it. Oftentimes, we may not understand the underlying negative sensations and unease stemming from touch starvation. Many of us try to relieve our hunger for physical touch with drugs and food. We need to get our fix of human interaction and touch regularly. Being seen and touched by another person helps relieve touch deprivation. And it need not be only from someone who is close to us. A casual acquaintance, an animal, or even a professional can help satisfy our need for physical contact. Visiting a regular hairdresser is a perfect way to get these essential needs of human connection met. So what if we have to pay them? We have to pay our therapists too, and they don't touch. That's why oftentimes therapy is not effective, because when we are upset, we need the soothing touch of a caring hand. Therapists, even if they touch, is just a brief pat on your hand. Someone gently touching and arranging our hair evokes pleasant memories of childhood caretaking and grooming.
Allo-grooming. Allo-grooming is a pattern of behavior that's observed in essentially all mammals, but very strongly in non-human primates and primates, where individuals within a species touch one another, and this is non-sexual touch. So this would be someone brushing somebody else's hair or combing their hair or even using a lint roller on them, for instance, or someone grooming somebody else. Allo-grooming is known to stimulate a certain category of neurons called the C-tactile fibers. These are a particular category of so-called sensory neurons that innervate our skin. So these are literally like little endings of neurons, little wires that end up in the skin that when they are touched lightly, tend to create a feeling of well-being in the person that's being touched. But it's known to increase levels of oxytocin, a kind of hormone/neurotransmitter, it's both really, that is known to evoke feelings of bond or of feeling bonded to somebody or something. And for many people, we hear about oxytocin and we think about the bond between parent and child, in particular mother and infant, where it's been most extensively studied, or between two members of a romantic couple. But if you look at the literature on allo-grooming, what you find is that when humans groom one another, the increases in oxytocin that are experienced are at least on par with, and in fact, more often more dramatic in response to allo-grooming than in response to other forms of touch.
The truth is, when we visit our hairstylist, it's not just about washing, cutting, coloring, blow drying, and styling. It's the emotional gratification we experience when someone listens attentively and offers suitable options. It makes us feel valued and cared for. And when the hairstylist gently touches our hair while talking to us through the mirror, our C-tactile fibers get activated. We feel amazingly calm and reassured. According to psychologist Seth Meyers, one reason for this level of comfort could be the hairstylist and client don't directly face each other. The client looks into the mirror and speaks to the reflection of the stylist standing behind. The mirror creates the illusion of distance, which makes us feel more comfortable as we converse and share some intimate details of our life. Talking to a hairdresser while she touches our hair feels we are talking to someone close, like our mother. We can freely say things that are really bothering us without feeling overly inhibited. The occasional venting confession sessions at the local salon can be incredibly cathartic. The high levels of oxytocin released during the grooming session washes our anxiety and stress away. Regularly visiting your local hairdresser is the easiest way to tackle loneliness, touch deprivation. In addition to looking good, after a visit to your salon, you will also feel better. Don't forget to tip your hairstylist. They will feel good too, and the next time you visit, they will be more than happy to see you again.